We are now live streaming, so everything you say and do is being recorded.
I thought this was the most weird one. It's the last thing we need.
I'd like to call this April meeting of the Town of Lancaster Zoning Board of Appeals to order. Please rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and good evening. I'm going to ask our town clerk, Mrs. Terranova, to read the first case. I'm sorry, to call the roll.
Mr. Hain.
Here.
Mr. Matthews.
Here.
Mr. Michaely. Mr. Storr.
Here.
Mr. Tillmans. Mr. Zellick.
Here.
Chairman Monaco.
Here. Thank you. Okay, we have 7 cases tonight, just so you know where you are in the order. Our first case is 0 Ransom Road. Our second case is 37 Bentley Circle. Third is 12 Nicholas. Fourth is Michael Beck. Fifth is, I'm sorry, it's not an address. Fifth is 39 Stony Brook. Then that was fourth. Fifth is 11 Branch Way. The sixth one is 29 Nicholas, and the last, 7th one is 203 Enchanted Forest South. Okay, when you're ready, would you read the first case, please?
First case considered by the Zoning Board of Appeals is that of the petition of Anna Chaika, 227 Ransom Road, Lancaster, New York, 14086, for 2 variances for the purpose of review and approval of creating a minor subdivision of land on premises owned by Richard and Ann Chaika at 0 Ransom Road, Lancaster, New York, to wit. A variance from the requirements of Chapter 400 zoning Section 13, subsection C, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster. The request calls for creating a minor subdivision of land with sublots 2 and 3 below the 3-acre lot area. Chapter 400 zoning Section 13, subsection C, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster requires a minimum lot area per dwelling unit of 3 acres. The petitioner therefore requests a variance for sublot 2 of 0.75 acres and sublot 3 of 0.42 acres. B, a variance to the requirements of Chapter 400 zoning subsection 13, Section 13, subsection C, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster. The request calls for creating a minor subdivision of land with sublots 2 and 3 below the 300 feet road frontage. Chapter 400 zoning Section 13, subsection C, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster requires a minimum lot width of 300 feet if abutting a dedicated street. The petitioner therefore requests a variance for sublot number 2 of 22.5 feet and number 3 of 22.5 feet.
Thank you. Do we have a representative for Zero Ransom? Good evening.
Good evening. My name's Ken Zalich. I'm with the engineering firm GPI. Also here with me tonight is the applicant, in case there's any specific questions for her.
Okay.
It's
Would you
Miss-
give the clerk your address, please, for the record?
Yeah, 4950 Gemsky Street, Suite 100, 14225.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
All right, as Ms. Terranova has laid out, we're requesting variances for 2 proposed subdivision lots, both for street frontage width as well as area. We were previously in front of this board in January on the 9th of this year for a 4-lot minor subdivision. That the board decision was ultimately to deny that request for the variances for 3 lots at that time. We've since reviewed the plan, revised it. We're back here with a 3-lot minor subdivision. The 2 lots that we are looking at are much closer to conforming to the code, and we believe are meeting the intent of the zoning code. When you're looking at lot width, we're a mere 22 feet, which sounds substantial, but when you're talking about a 300-foot wide lot, that's not even noticeable. No one's going to be able to tell the difference there. And certainly with the depth that we have, we're well over 2.5 acres, not quite meeting that 3-acre threshold. We believe that there really would be no significant issues, concerns from the look, from the feel of the neighborhood. Along Ransom, in that area, the existing residential lots are significantly smaller in size. We understand the zoning code has changed since those lots were approved, but just in keeping with the general character of the neighborhood, certainly not altering it. In fact, these lots will be substantially larger, as is, even with the requested variances. So we are just requesting tonight to receive an approval for the 2 variances each for each sublot, sublots 2 and sublots 3. Can answer any questions the board may have to best of my ability. I'm here in place of Jason, who was previously here. This is his project, but should be able to answer anything the board may have for further questions or concerns.
Thank you. And just for clarification, there's no difference between this variance request and the previous one, is that correct?
No, there is a substantial difference.
There is, okay.
Yes. Previously, we had 3 lots that were all smaller in size than the 2 lots we are proposing now. So this is significantly different. By removing 1 lot, I mean, we are on about 7.5, 7.8 acres. So previously, where we had 4, I believe the corner lot was always remained as a conforming lot, and we had 3 smaller lots. In this case, now we have 2.
Okay, that's what I thought, but then I thought otherwise. Okay, so you were requesting 4 previously.
Originally, there were 4 proposed lots. I believe 1 was conforming, and we were looking at 3 with variances. Now we are down to 3 lots. We eliminated 1 lot.
Okay, thank you very much for clarifying that. Okay, so I'll turn it over to the board. You want to start us off, Mr. Hain?
Thank you. As you stated, we have reviewed this project back in January and noted the changes on the new site plan. So no, I have no questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Matthews?
Thank you, I have no questions.
Okay, Mr. Storr?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Not really a question, more of a comment. Thank you for working with us and making the lots closer to the conforming zoning laws. I just appreciate your flexibility in the issue.
No further comments.
Thank you. Okay, and Mr. Zelak?
Thank you, Madam Chair, I have no
No
questions.
questions, okay. Anyone in the audience wish to speak to this matter?
Yes.
Okay, there's a gentleman in back, and then I'll call you, ma'am. Hello.
My name is Margaret Dombrowski. I live at 20 Saybrook Drive in Lancaster, New York. This is my father, Richard Chachma. He came here countless times to try to appease this board. He built homes in your community. He is this community. can't even tell you. On February 21st, at 4:31 in the morning, I received a call from my mother telling me my father passed away. When I went to her home and 227 Ransom Road, the plans to that lot were on the table. Your laws, your zoning laws, what you did are unspeakable.
I think I speak on behalf of the board.
I don't want to
when-
hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, you'll need to come up and give us your name and address too, please.
My name is Ina Chechka. I'm the wife of my husband, and I just wish to thank those that didn't want to divide, didn't let us divide the property for four. Those that didn't want it, they know what I'm talking about, because we had that property for so long, and now we thought we could divide it to have the money, for our grandchildren, for the college. And one of the members, I don't want to mention the name, and I don't even want to look at him right now, said, oh, they're going to make money anyway on it. No, after we had it for so many years, paid the taxes on it, and invested so much money on it, if we would have put that money in a bank, in a CD or whatever you call it, we would have made more money. So after we signed, after I signed the check to send it to the town, allows it $65, I think, or 60, I don't remember exactly. My husband got so upset all day. That's all he was talking about. It's about that young guy that thought that we're making so much money. He said, we're losing money. That's all he was talking about all day. And early in the morning, I found them dead in the bathroom. So I just want to thank those people from building department and from your members. Thank you very much for helping my husband to depart out of my life. Thank you so much. I'm finished.
Sir, did you still want to speak?
Hi, my name is Michael Worless. I own the adjoining property at 431 Ransom Road in Lancaster.
And what is your address, sir?
431 Ransom Road,
Thank you.
yeah. I have no objections at all to this project, and I just want to say I'm very sorry for Annie's loss. My phone number is on the back of here. If she needs to use my property for drainage or any other reason, please call me, okay? It looks like the drainage ends at my property. I don't know if they can trench to the road, but if she needs to use my property for any reason to help the water drain, number's on the back, okay?
That's very
Thank
kind.
you.
We appreciate that, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else in the audience who'd like to make a comment or ask a question about this case? Okay, there being none, may we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thanks.
Whereas the zoning board of appeals of the town of Lancaster made the following findings. That this area variance for a single-family residence according to Part C 617C17 of the New York State Code Rules and Regulations, the type 2 action is determined not to have a significant impact on the environment, therefore is not subject to a secret review. That no undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood by granting the area variance relief sought because it is larger than other properties in the area.
Could you repeat that?
Because it is larger than other properties in the area.
Thank you.
That no detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance relief sought. That the benefit sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance relief sought. That the requested area variance relief is not substantial. That the proposed area variance relief will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. That the alleged difficulty is not, or is self-created but not to the extent necessary to preclude the granting of the area variance relief sought. That this board is taking into consideration the benefit to the applicants if the variance relief sought is granted as weighted against the detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood or community by such grant. That within the intent and purposes of this ordinance, that the variance relief sought, if granted, is the minimum necessary to afford relief.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. I'll second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hain?
Yes.
Mr. Matthews?
Yes.
Mr. Michaely?
I'm sorry, I'm late. I'll abstain.
Mr. Storr?
Yes.
Mr. Zelak?
Yes.
And Ms. Monticelli?
Yes. You're all set. Your variance is granted. Just follow up with the building department. We are very sensitive. Have a lot of Okay, next case, please.
Second case considered by the zoning board of appeals is that of the petition of Michael Mordino, 37 Bentley Circle, Lancaster, New York, for one variance for the purpose of installing a hot tub on premises owned by the petitioner at 37 Bentley Circle. A variance from the requirement of Chapter 400, zoning section 14, subsection D, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster. The request calls for installing a hot tub within the 10-foot setback from a primary structure at 7 feet 11 inches. Chapter 400, zoning section 14, subsection D, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster requires an accessory to be a minimum of 10 feet from another structure. The petitioner therefore requests a 2-foot 1-inch variance.
Thank you. And we have somebody here from Bentley Circle.
Yes. I am Michael Mordino. I'm the owner of the property.
And that's the address where you...
Yes,
Thank you.
37 Bentley Circle.
Thank you. Go ahead.
This is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm hoping that the case isn't as complex as the first one. So, it's,
I don't think it is.
so basically, it was purchased. We purchased it for my spouse for medicinal purposes. We're just trying to keep it as close as we can to the property within reason. So that's pretty much really all I have. So if you have any questions, I can answer them.
Okay. Yeah, I think you laid out a good case.
Okay.
Your explanation, but we will turn it over to the board. Mr. Michaely?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no questions.
Thank you. Mr. Matthews?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no questions.
Mr. Storr?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No questions.
And Mr. Zelak?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no questions as well.
Mr. Hain?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no questions.
Okay. As I said, you laid out a really good case.
I
You explained
appreciate it.
everything.
Thank
We appreciate it. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments on this variance request? Okay, there being none, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Whereas the zoning board of appeals of the town of Lancaster made the following findings, that this area variance for a single-family residence according to parts 617.5 C17, 617.5 C17 of the New York State Codes, Rules, and Regulations, the type 2 action, has been determined not to have a significant impact on the environment, therefore is not subject to secret review. That no undesirable change will be produced by the character of the neighborhood by granting the area variance relief sought. That no detriment to nearby properties will be granted by will be created by the granting of the area variance relief sought. Because I don't believe a hot tub will be a detriment to nearby properties.
Okay.
That the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some other method, but not to the extent necessary to preclude the granting of the area variance relief sought. That the requested area variance is not substantial. That the proposed area variance will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. That the alleged difficulty is self-created, but not to the extent necessary to preclude the granting of the area variance relief sought. That this board has taken into consideration the benefit of the applicant if the variance relief sought is granted as weighted against the detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood or district by, or community by such grant. That within the intent and purpose of this ordinance, the variance relief sought, if granted, is the minimum variance necessary to afford relief.
Thank you, Mr. Storr. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Michaely. Thank you. And roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hain?
Yes.
Mr. Matthews?
Yes.
Mr. Michaely?
Yes.
Mr. Storr?
Yes.
Mr. Zalek?
Yes.
Chairman Monticelli?
Yes. You're all set, sir. Just follow up with the building department, and we wish you and your spouse the best.
Okay, thank you.
You're very
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Thank you.
When you're ready, the next case, please.
The third case considered by the zoning board of appeals is that of the petition of Robert Clarice, 12 Nicholas Lane, Lancaster, New York, for one variance for the purpose of constructing a three-season patio room enclosure on premises owned by the petitioner at 12 Nicholas Lane, Lancaster, New York, to wit. A variance from the requirements of Chapter 400 zoning Section 14, subsection D, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster. The request calls for constructing a three-season patio room enclosure 21.08 feet from a rear property line. Chapter 400 zoning Section 14, subsection D, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster requires to be a minimum of 35 feet from a rear property line. The petitioner therefore requests a 13.92-foot variance.
Thank you. I live within 100 feet of this residence, so I'm going to recuse myself, and Board Member Michael Lee is going to take over from this point.
Thank you. Is there someone from 12 Nicholas Lane here? Sir? If you please just tell us your name and address for the record.
My name is Robert Clarice. I reside at 12 Nicholas Lane. My wife and I, we moved in there 13 years ago, and we enjoy the neighborhood and the house and everything else. And 3 years ago, we decided to start doing some improvements. So 3 years ago, we put a brick front on our house. Last year, we did our front landscaping, and this year, we decided to add a room in the back so that we can enjoy sitting out there in the summer. And I have no idea what else to tell you.
That should be good enough. We'll now look to the board for any comments. Mr. Matthews, any questions or comments?
No, I have no questions.
Thank you. Mr. Storr, any questions?
Yes, so in the rear of your house, there is a drainage easement. I don't see this three-season room being an issue, but would you be willing to accept that if the town or county ever needs to get in and that,
If I would accept what?
would you accept that if they ever need access to that drainage easement and this room is in the way, that you would accept the cost of removing it for them to get to the easement?
Yeah.
Okay, no further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Zelak, any questions or comments?
Thank you, I have no questions.
Thank you. Mr. Hain?
Thank you, I have no questions.
I'll just make one comment that I looked at, so the lot behind you on Lake Avenue is very large, it's 2.4 acres. So I think it's worth pointing out that even though there is a rear setback here, it has no impact as far as I see on any other properties. We'll now go to the audience, if there's anyone in the audience who has any questions or would like to speak to the board. Okay, seeing none, we'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion Whereas zoning board of appeals of the town of Lancaster has made the following findings, that this area variance for a single-family residence according to part 617.5C17 of the New York State Code of Rules and Regulations, a type 2 action, has been determined not to have a significant impact on the environment, therefore is not subject to secret review, that no undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood by granting of the area variance relief sought, that no detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance relief sought, because neighboring properties are significant distance away.
Thank you.
That the benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance relief sought, that the requested area variance relief is not substantial, that the proposed area variance will not have an effect or an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district, that the alleged difficulty is self-created but not to the extent necessary to preclude the granting of the area variance relief sought, that this board is taking into consideration the benefit of the applicant if the variance relief sought is granted as weighed against the detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood or district or neighborhood or community by such grant, that within the intent and purpose of this ordinance, the variance relief sought, if granted, is absolutely minimum variance necessary to afford relief, that no commercial enterprise other than those permitted by Chapter 400 of the Code of the Town of Lancaster will be conducted on premises. That's it.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Storr. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Storr, second by Mr. Hain. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hain?
Yes.
Mr. Matthews?
Yes.
Mr. Miley?
Yes.
Mr. Storr?
Yes.
Mr. Zelak?
Yes.
And I abstain from Ms. Marcelli. So your variance has been granted, and thank you. Just please make sure you check in with the building department before doing any work.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Michaeli. Okay, Ms. Terranova, will you read case number 4, please?
The fourth case considered by the Zoning Board of Appeals is that of the petition of Michael and Colleen Beck, 39 Stony Brook Drive, Lancaster, New York, for one variance for the purpose of constructing a residential accessory on premises owned by the petitioners at 39 Stony Brook Drive, Lancaster, New York, to wit: a variance from the requirements of Chapter 400 zoning Section 14, subsection D, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster. The request calls for constructing a residential accessory structure 3 feet from the side property line. Chapter 400 zoning Section 14, subsection D, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster requires the accessory structure to be a minimum of 5 feet from the side lot line, or if an easement exists, from the edge of the easement, whichever is more restrictive. The petitioners therefore request a 2-foot variance.
Okay, thank you. Do we have someone here from Stony Brook? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Michael Becht, 39 Stony Brook Drive, Lancaster, and I'm here with my wife Colleen. We're essentially looking to just build a bigger shed and trying to move it 2 feet over for where the current one stands and maximize really the lawn space that we have to work with for just the backyard.
Okay,
Following all the code, making sure there's a firewall built on the outside wall that is next to the fence. Both neighbors have signed off on letters saying they're okay with it, both the Flemings and the Hoffmans. And I think that's about it.
okay, very good. All right, we will turn it over to the board then. Mr. Storr, you want to get us started, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No questions.
Okay, Mr. Zelak?
Thank you, Madam Chair. What is the reason for the bigger shed?
Just more stuff that I have, so essentially going to put a couple work tools in there.
No other questions, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hain?
So you're replacing the existing shed?
Yes.
Okay. And thank you for getting letters from your neighbors in support of your project. That helps us greatly. And I have no more questions or comments.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hain. And Mr. Michaeli?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no questions.
Mr. Matthews?
Sure, just to clarify, these two neighbors are both sides of your house?
both sides.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Yes.
I have no further questions.
I have a couple. How much larger is the proposed shed from the current shed?
So the current is 8 by 10, so it's twice as large,
Oh, okay. So it's going to be substantial.
16 by 20.
Okay. Well, that answers my next question then. Okay, and I have nothing further. Is there anyone in the audience who has any questions or comments? Okay, there being none, do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Michaely.
Whereas the zoning board of appeals of the town of Lancaster has made the following findings, that this area variance for a single-family residence according to Part 617.5 C17 of the New York State Codes, Rules, and Regulations is type 2 action and has been determined not to have a significant impact on the environment, therefore it is not subject to a secret review. That no undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood by the granting of the area variance relief sought. That no detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance relief sought because neighbors on both sides have provided letters of support. That the benefit sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance relief sought. That the requested area variance is not substantial. That the proposed area variance relief will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. That the alleged difficulty is self-created, but not to the extent necessary to preclude the granting of the area variance relief sought. That this board has taken into consideration the benefit to the applicants if the variance relief sought is granted, as weighed against the detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood or community by such grant. That within the intent and purposes of this ordinance, the variance relief sought, if granted, is the minimum variance necessary to afford relief.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Matthews, thank you. And roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hain?
Yes.
Mr. Matthews?
Yes.
Mr. Michaely?
Yes.
Mr. Storr?
Yes.
Mr. Zilek?
Yes.
Chairman Monticelli?
Yes. Congratulations, your variance is approved. As you may have heard me say a few times, we'll follow up with the building department, and good luck with the project.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Terranova, will you read the fifth case, please?
The fifth case considered by the Zoning Board of Appeals is that of the petition of Amy Wissing, Gentech Power, 61 Innsbruck Drive, Suite C, Buffalo, New York, for one variance for the purpose of installing a generator on premises owned by Gerald Palumbo at 11 Branchway, Lancaster, New York, to wit, a variance from the requirements of Chapter 400, zoning Section 14, subsection D, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster. The request calls for installing a generator 4 feet from the side property line. Chapter 400, zoning Section 14, subsection D, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster requires non-portable exterior heating or air conditioning structures and generators shall not be located within 5 feet of any lot line. The petitioner therefore requests a variance of 1 foot.
Thank you. And, excuse me, do we have someone here from Branch Way? Oh, both of you come on up then.
My name's Gerard Palumbo. I live at 11 Branch Way, Lancaster. This generator was installed about 5 years ago, and apparently there was some misunderstanding or confusion as to the location between the contractor and the zoning inspector. We were only made aware of it last year. There was some prior issues that we had to resolve as far as the venting of the generator. We had to seal up a basement window that was too close to the generator. But the distance issue was something we are not aware of. It's, instead of being, as they said, instead of being 5 feet from our neighbor's property line, it's 4 feet. We've spoken to our neighbor. They have no objection. There should be a letter submitted with this by our neighbor saying he's never had any problems with the generator, doesn't expect to have any, and really there's no feasible other location for the generator. That's all I have to say. If you want to have some pictures that could show you the situation, but we'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Did you want to join in?
Yeah, I'm here from the contractor, so I just wanted to support. So I'm Amy Wissing with Gentech. A lot of confusion on this because we originally, generator was going to be 18 inches from the house. It was approved. We got a permit, and then the inspector came out, did the pre-site, said you got to move it out because there's a vent. He had a window blocked. We did everything he wanted, installed it, and then found out, I was informed 2 months ago that apparently it was too close to the property line. So we are now seeking retroactively a variance to make sure that it's all legal and good to go. But other than that, we had an electrical inspection. We, went through everything, just didn't get the variance yet, so.
Could you just give your name and address to the town clerk,
Yep,
please?
it's Amy Wissing from 61 Innsbrook Drive.
Thank you. All right, we will, before we turn it over to the board, I just wanted to make a note of the letter that we did receive from Todd Burness, 9 Branch Way, and he is saying that they have absolutely no problem with our approving this variance. Okay, Mr. Zelak?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have one question for Matt, I guess. Seeing that this was, the Commonwealth inspection was done in 2022, is everything up to code as far as on the electrical side?
From the NEC portion of the code, that's correct.
Yeah, okay. No further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zelak and Mr. Hain.
Thank you, Madam Chair, no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hain. Mr. Michaeli?
Thank you. I have no questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Matthews?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no questions.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Storr?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No questions.
All right, I have none either. Anyone in the audience?
May I clarify some misconceptions here with this building permit?
Yes, please.
The permit was issued in sometime in 2021 to the applicant based on a location survey with a distance of 18 inches from an existing primary structure, which is permitted. There were no indications of any air inlets on the side of that building where the proposed location was. We did have the permit issued at that time. Electrical inspection was completed on October 24th of 2022. The final inspection was completed on September 27th of 2022, and it failed. And the reasons that it failed, it was 40 inches from a fresh air intake, 32 inches from an air-conditioned unit, and it was too close to the property line.
So it wasn't placed exactly, so what happened? It just wasn't placed?
It was installed where it was proposed, somewhat where it was proposed, but upon final inspection and verification that all of the parameters had been met, the parameters that were not provided during the application process, the project had failed based on the deficiencies. It was too close to all the air intakes and the other deficiencies that were listed in September of 2022. So moving forward with applications to building permits, we've become much more stringent. We need a lot more information, but typically we do not get it provided. And the purpose of requesting all this information is to prevent incidents like this where you have, now it's a $7,000 to $10,000 installation of a unit put in the wrong place because we didn't have enough information on a plan review to do a proper review for compliance to the code.
So, other than the 1 foot,
The deficiencies from 22 have been remedied.
they have been.
So it's become code compliant. The only thing that is outstanding at this point is the distance from the property line.
Very good, thank you.
That inspection was completed March 27th of 2025.
Okay.
So was it installed 1 foot further out from where it was supposed to be?
Sure, to get it away from the air inlets.
Okay. Oh, that's what caused this. Okay.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Okay, I think we already asked the audience, right? Okay, do we have a motion? Okay, I'll make it. Save Keith's voice. As soon as I find it. Thank you. All right, whereas the Zoning Board of Appeals for the Town of Lancaster has made the following findings, that this area variance for a single-family residence, according to Part 617.5 C17 of the New York State Codes, Rules, and Regulations, is a Type 2 action and has been determined not to have a significant impact on the environment, therefore is not subject to a seeker review. That no undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood by granting of the area variance relief sought, that no detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance relief sought, and that we have a letter from the neighbor adjacent at 9 Branchway in support of the variance.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That no detriment to nearby that the benefit sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance relief sought. That the requested area variance relief is not substantial in that it is only 1 foot out of 5 feet.
Thank you.
That the proposed area variance will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. That the alleged difficulty is self-created, but not to the extent necessary to preclude the granting of the area variance relief sought. That this board has taken into consideration the benefit to the applicants if the variance relief sought is granted, is weighed against the detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood or community by such grant. That within the intent and purposes of this ordinance, the variance relief sought, if granted, is the minimum variance necessary to afford relief. Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Storr. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hain.
Yes.
Mr. Matthews.
Yes.
Mr. Michaely.
Yes.
Mr. Storr.
Yes.
Mr. Zalek.
Yes.
Chairman Monticelli.
Yes. You're all set, folks. Thanks for coming in. Okay, will you read us the next case, please?
Sixth case, considered by the Zoning Board of Appeals, is that of the petition of Jordan Schneider, Corinthian Homes, 2353 Bone Road, Elma, New York, for one variance for review and approval of front yard setback on premises owned by Brenda Romano and Jordan Schneider of 29 Nicholas Lane, Lancaster, New York, to wit. A variance from the requirements of Chapter 400 zoning Section 14, subsection D, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster. The request calls for a front yard setback of 29.92 feet. Chapter 400 zoning Section 14, subsection D, Schedule B of the Code of the Town of Lancaster requires a minimum front yard setback of 35 feet. The petitioners therefore request a 5.8-foot variance.
Thank you. And someone here from 29 Nicholas? Hello?
Hello, my name is Brenda Romano. I'm the owner of 29 Nichols Lane. I'm requesting a variance setback for my home that is currently under construction. A house location was approved by the building department in September. This was an oversight, as we could have moved the house before it was even started construction. So we're just requesting a variance now.
Okay. So what was the oversight? How did this happen?
I'm Jordan Schneider's father, he couldn't be here.
Uh-huh.
I'm just eyes and ears of I'm not really involved in the company, but we built on the building permit.
And then when they came to inspect, then they realized, oops, there was an oversight. It should have been set back, to 35 instead of 29 and whatever, but
Right.
the basement had been poured, everything had been poured, everything had been put into the town and approved and all that, and it wasn't caught. It was an oversight till after everything was already done.
I see.
When they re-inspected after the concrete went in and the house.
By almost 6 feet. It was off by about 6 feet?
No, it's 5
5 feet, 8?
5 feet.
Well, close to there, yeah, over 5 feet, okay.
I'm sorry?
This is an outside corner lot.
Yeah.
The house is positioned in the corner. The front setback was at 37.67 feet from one set of the right-of-way. On the side was 35.25 feet. And as you can see, the radius dimension from corner of the garage to that front right-of-way line is the 29.78 feet.
So this is interesting, and if you don't mind me asking now, this is an interesting one because Nicholas Lane is on all 3 sides.
Absolutely,
Lot.
yeah, this is a through lot as well.
So is the frontage considered all 3 sides?
The required yard setback is 35 feet on those 3 sides, that's correct.
Okay, so
And with these through lots, as with the others to the west, the rear yard setback is the same as the front yard setback of
Yeah.
35 feet. So it makes sense, there's a stormwater facility to the north here as well. So again, it's, the dimensions from the western boundary and the southern boundary meet. It's just that outside corner of that garage is a bit shy, and it was verified when we were given the foundation location survey in February. So then we wanted to make the property whole.
Sir, can I ask your first name?
David Schneider.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have any other questions, John?
No.
Okay. All right, then we'll move on to Mr. Matthews.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no questions.
Thank you. Mr. Storr?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No questions at this time.
Okay. Mr. Zelak?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no questions, I guess.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hain?
Is anybody from the builder, Corinthian Homes, here tonight?
I'm sorry.
I am,
You are? Okay.
yes, but I'm not involved, I'm just here for eyes and ears.
Oh, okay.
Well, then
So I really couldn't.
why be here?
Yeah.
Then why be here? I mean, you are involved, right? Or,
Well-
yeah, but you're...
Sure.
He's supporting me because I don't.
So are you the builder or no?
No,
Jordan.
my sons.
Jordan runs
Your
the
son's the
business.
builder, okay.
We had a similar case within the last few months where a house was built and is this the same builder?
No.
Okay. No. I have no more questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, if we had known before we broke ground, definitely would have made
Of
it
course.
work.
So I just still don't get this, Matt. Was it that the foundation was poured a few feet off of where the original plan?
Given the review, given the front dimension and the side dimension, it appeared that everything was proper and it met the standard. And when we received the foundation location, the dimension was identified and it was brought to my attention. And again, the attempt is just to make this property whole, make it
Yep.
conforming. Let's close on the property, issue the CO where it's compliant to the zoning code. That's the only purpose. I don't want to say it's an insignificant action, but, we want to make the property
Yep.
conforming.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. Okay, I see one person in the audience. I'm guessing you're not here on this case? Okay. All right. Any other questions from the board? All right, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Storr.
You're welcome. Whereas the zoning board of appeals of the town of Lancaster has made the following findings, that this area variance for a single-family residence according to parts 617.5 C17 of the New York State Codes, Rules, and Regulations, the type 2 action, and has been determined not to have a significant impact on the environment, therefore is not subject to secret review. That no undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood by granting of the area variance relief sought, because the neighborhood is already built.
Thank you.
That no detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance relief sought, because it's surrounded by 3 sides on street, by street. I don't know how to word that better.
Fair enough.
It's not encroaching on anybody.
Thank you.
That the benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance relief sought, that the requested area variance is not substantial, that the proposed area variance relief will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district, that the alleged difficulty is self-created but not to the extent necessary to preclude granting of the area variance relief sought. That this board has taken into consideration the benefit to the applicants if the variance relief sought is granted as weighed against the detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood or community by such grant, that within the intended purposes of this variance are this ordinance, the variance relief sought, if granted, is the minimum variance necessary to afford relief.
Okay, motion by Mr. Storr. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Matthews. Thank you. And roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hain?
Yes.
Mr. Matthews?
Yes.
Mr. Michaeli?
Yes.
Mr. Storr?
Yes.
Mr. Zelak?
Yes.
Ms. Menaselli?
Yes. You folks are all set. You've got your variance, okay? Good luck with the rest of the house.
I need it.
Sure.
That's gotta make a ton of zoning issues.
Yeah.
Being
That radius.
the radius for sure.
Okay, we have one more case, 203 Enchanted Forest South. If you would read that for us, please.
The seventh case considered by the Zoning Board of Appeals is that of the petition of Gregory Osika, 203 Enchanted Forest South, Depew, New York, for one variance for the purpose of constructing a privacy fence in a required front yard on premises owned by the petitioner at 203 Enchanted Forest South, to wit, a variance from the requirements of Chapter 400 zoning Section 34, subsection C of the Code of the Town of Lancaster. The request calls for installing a 6-foot-tall privacy fence in a required front yard. Chapter 400 zoning Section 34, subsection C of the Code of the Town of Lancaster requires within non-industrial districts no fence or wall other than a necessary retaining wall over 3 feet in height shall extend into the front yard of any lot. The petitioner therefore requests a 3-foot variance.
Thank you. Come on up.
Good.
Greg Osika, the owner of 203 Enchanted Forest. Before I state my case, I just want to point out a couple items. I do have a more accurate depiction survey. I know when I came in, I would do my best impression to be an architect, but they said if I could kind of plot where it was supposed to be better, we could do that. So I don't know if I want to pass it around to the board. You guys take it better.
Thank you.
I also have the certification of attestation of exemption, if that's needed here today. I also have a letter from Erie County Sewer with that there's no issues with anything where we are trying to plot the fence with the sewer of Erie County. And then I also have a letter of all of our neighbors that they approve of, where we staked the potential fence given the permit today. So I just want to
I'll see the Erie County one for sure.
Erie County one.
Thank you.
Any other?
You can see the
more
neighbor.
copies
I'll take
of
a name.
Yeah, the neighbor. Yeah, center.
So obviously the case, the reason here is to get a variance and a permit for the fence. The goal is to basically move the fence 12 feet from where it is today to make it wider, and then bring it from the back of the house to the front of the house. The side where it would be on Cider Mill, which is a dead-end street, it would still be 10 feet from the sidewalk at that place. It would be 5 feet from the sewer that is there and about 27.5 to 28 feet from the street. So that is the variance and acceptance that we're looking. The main reason, and honestly really the only important reason that I see from my end as to why we are reaching out for this permit, we have a 1.5-year-old daughter, me and my wife, and the way our backyard is today, it's just basically a slab of concrete. So we really don't have an additional option or alternative to keep our daughter safe playing in a backyard. If we don't get, the permit for everything, she's going to be in the front side yard where cars are driving by, they're passing through the stop signs, something we don't want to have to even worry about. We'd like to keep her safe in the confines of our property. So, taking advantage of that side lot close to cider mill gives us the ability to keep her safe on our own property. Obviously, it is a dead-end street, so it is like low traffic with cars on that side, but it is high traffic with foot traffic. And one of the things we know, with kids is between the ages of 1 and 5, the leading cause of death is drowning. So that's where the variance of the 6 feet comes into play. We want to do everything on our part as, someone in the town to keep the kids in the neighborhood, as there are a lot, out of, our yard from climbing the fence easily, as we do have a pool. So not only the safety of our family, but we're looking for the safety of, the kids in the neighborhood as well. Also, obviously, the fence, if you've ever driven down that area, the fence today that's there, it's a 6-foot fence, it's fallen over, it looks like crap, honestly. We want to do, the neighborhood a favor by, rehabbing that, making it look really nice and just bringing up the property value. And then, obviously, privacy. Who doesn't want privacy? We have a young daughter, we have a pool, we'd like to be able to enjoy, our property in kind of peace and quiet. I'm happy to answer any questions or anything the board has.
Thank you. I just want to note that the petition, or the letter that you presented to us is signed by 3 people whose signatures I cannot read, but their addresses are 204 Enchanted Forest South, 7 Forest Stream Drive, and 201 Enchanted Forest South. The board also received a letter from Mary and Dan Giza at 1 Cider Mill Court. They're not objecting to the project. Their only concern is that the fence be 8 feet or more from the sidewalk.
Yeah, I had a text from Mary as well stating the same thing, and we'd be 10 feet from the sidewalk, so there's that extra space there.
Okay, thank you. All right, I've lost track, so let's start with Mr. Matthews.
Sure. So you're essentially just replacing...
Yeah, there's an existing fence right now, and it basically is at the back of our house and then comes straight. And so basically, in theory, what we want to do is just push this out 10 to 12 feet and then bring this to the front of the garage where our door is. So we're just basically, it's a side lot for the grass, and we want to take advantage of that and give our daughter a backyard and not let it be a side yard.
So you said it's 10 feet from Cider Mill Court?
No, it would be 10 feet from the sidewalk, about 27.5 to 28 feet from the street.
Okay.
And then there's on the side of the sidewalk, there's a sewer, so it's still 5 feet away from the sewer. As I talked to Erie County, they said it's a good distance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no further questions.
You're welcome, thank you. All right, Mr. Storr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for coming excessively prepared with
I appreciate it.
sewers, neighbors, everything under control. I have no further comments or questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Zelak?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just saw Erie County laid out, and if anything were to happen, it'll be on you to remove the fence.
Yep.
What kind of fence is it?
We're going to do a wood fence.
Wooden fence?
Vinyl if we can get some funds from the board. But,
I got 5 cents maybe right here. No further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Zelak. Mr. Hain?
Yeah, thank you for coming in and being prepared and presenting your project. You gave us a lot of information about it. You really only need the 1 3-foot variance, which is very common for this type of project. So thanks again. I have no more questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hain. Mr. Michaeli?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just, you may have said it already, but it's 10 feet from the sidewalk on both sides or just the cider mill side?
Cider mill, that road's going to be well above 30, 40 feet. That's the front.
Okay. I have no more questions. Thank you.
It's not even in question in the front.
Behind the house.
Yeah.
Okay, and if we do approve this, have you signed anything with Erie County saying that you would be willing to
I can, if
Move
need
the
be.
fence?
Yeah, it won't even be, that'll be on the outside of the fence anyhow.
Okay.
So that's why I gave them the extra buffer room, so that if
Okay.
they had to, they have plenty of room to get in the manhole. But
All right.
I also did the 811 dig, and everybody is on board with everything, where it's staked out today. So as long as we get the approval from you guys, basically, we're good to go.
Okay.
Matt shaking his head, yes, so it sounds like he's.
That was
he's
my
done-
recommendation, and the only reason I say this is on this survey, we have a 10-foot wide sanitary sewer easement. The location of the sidewalk is going to be anywhere between 1 and 2 feet outside of that property line. So in essence, you have 12 feet from the edge of concrete of the sidewalk to the inside portion of the easement. There's an additional 5 feet of a joint utility easement on the house side of the sanitary sewer easement. I'm guessing that's where all the electric and cable and telephone lines are run below grade. So the recommendation was to make sure that you called 811 to have all those items marked.
Absolutely.
So that when you do drill the post, we're not drilling
into anything.
into the power grid that's buried below.
Yeah, everything, all that's all been done, all marked, everything, so we're good to go.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Matt. Okay, anybody else have anything? There's no one in the audience. Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Whereas the zoning board of appeals of the town of Lancaster has made the following findings, that this area variance for a single-family residence according to part 617C, 17 of the New York State Codes, Rules, and Regulations is a type 2 action and has been determined not to have a significant impact on the environment, therefore is not subject to secret review, that no undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood by granting of the area variance relief sought, because fences are common in that neighborhood. That no detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance relief sought, because 3 neighbors have agreed to the variance.
Thank you.
That the benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance relief sought. That the requested area variance relief is not substantial. That the proposed area variance relief will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. That the alleged difficulty is self-created, but not to the extent necessary to preclude the granting of the area variance relief sought. That this board has taken into consideration the benefit to the applicants if the area variance relief sought is granted as weighted against the detriment to health, safety, welfare of the community or community by such grant, that this fence will not unduly shut out light to adjoining or air to adjoining properties, that such fence will not create a fire hazard by reason of its construction or location, that within the intents and purposes of this ordinance, the variance relief sought, if granted, is the minimum variance necessary to afford relief.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Michaely, thank you. And a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hain.
Yes.
Mr. Matthews.
Yes.
Mr. Michaely.
Yes.
Mr. Storr.
Yes.
Mr. Zeller.
Yes.
Ms. Monticelli.
Yes. You are all set, sir.
Thank you very much.
Go for
Do I just have to get like a permit from the town then, to just come in?
Yeah, follow up with Matt and the building
It'll
department.
be ready tomorrow morning.
You guys want the files, or?
You should probably
Yeah, I can decide.
make sure you have your CE 200 exemption certificate if you handed it out.
Yeah, I put it in.
Here
You
you
should
go.
probably take that because you'll need to submit it with payment of the fence.
Matt, did that initial fence that was there, does that mean it didn't have a permit, or that it was
You're
done prior, or did they really have a variance?
It didn't need variance, it was properly set back. My understanding. I'm going to look at, I don't know how far away it is, but if you look at that rear yard, even that in-ground pool with the entire wall-to-wall pavement, it leaves no green space.
But if it did, let's say 20 years ago, you got, that prior owner got a variance, he wouldn't have made to come here tonight.
You would still need that variance because it's in a different location as what it was originally permitted.
Thank you, you do as well. Good night.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, I apologize all for being late.
Oh, we forgive you. Motion to adjourn, Mr. Storr, and second, Mr. Michaely. Roll call vote, please. Oh, all in favor, sorry.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
All right. We are out.
Make it official. subdivision.
Just over an hour.
Just let us know when that recording's out.
Yeah.